Ask these 12-year-olds if he can be their bidet. That's really gross and inappropriate, isn't it? I didn't come up with that joke. Someone in my comments said or something. I don't know. Inappropriate.
Or I love to be on here. It's just to piss you off.
Dang.
The bidet was back and creepier than ever. Although it's not like people had forgotten about his past, as Jay Aubrey's original expose had gone viral, amassing over 2.7 million views, with his newly found infamy leading the bidet to defend himself further in a leaked Snapchat message.
Those girls that I did duets with, yes, I did duets. They asked for those duets, first off. It was not meant to be sexual or anything. They were to come off that way. The FBI has already investigated it. They came to my house back in 2018 when all that happened. They were just asking me stuff about TikTok and what it was.
As mentioned, law enforcement had zero interest in what Buddy had done, possibly giving him the confidence to continue.
Or maybe he just made that up to make it seem like they exonerated him.
As only 4 months later, a new video was uploaded by Inform Overload, confirming that the Buddy was back to his old ways in a brand new series of Snapchats.
Cute. I was gonna say, you don't have to cover up for me, haha. You're cute. I'd love to get to know you more.
Well, he has made sure that these are. We gotta make sure he thinks that these people are 14. So if he's just saying it's a regular girls, then it's like different. What the hell is he living in though? A fucking RV?
Wish I was there. I'd want you. You're beautiful. I kind of like you. You'd be a good girl. 16, right?
He probably lives in a state where like 16 is the age of consent or something. That's probably why he's asking her if she's 16. But bro, come on.
Snapchat that she was talking about that proves Buddy Haynes knows about her age.
Buddy had stated in an Instagram Q&A that he typically went for girls between the ages of 18 and 36. So to be caught Snapchatting a girl he knew was 16 wasn't the best look. After being asked were the allegations true, he'd simply...
I mean, if he lives in a state where 16 is the age of consent, I wouldn't be... I still think it's gross. The bigger issue is that it seems like he was talking about fucking 14-year-olds before this, so... It's not good, dude. Not good.
Say no. And after a follow-up question of how do you feel about all the allegations toward you, he'd simply write it's all bull, which didn't exactly disprove anything, especially since there was more evidence just around the corner. Less than 2 weeks after stating that the allegations were untrue, a YouTube account by the name of Jadica uploaded a video talking about a new experience with the bidet, which is best
I'll probably make
described in her own words.
I found his Snapchat and I started posing as a 16-year-old to try and catch him in the act. And here is where I was like... well, you know, I'm not really all that experienced in flirting, and he said that I can practice on him. That's what he said really about me saying, oh, I'm not that experienced in flirting, you know.
Would you like to try practicing rizzing me up? Would you like to try to practice rizzing me up, bro? Where's this guy live? That's my question.
And then here I told him that I was bored, and he said he could make it better. And then I asked him what he meant by that, and he said, oh, well, I'd probably make out with you, haha. And I don't remember why, but at some point he said this, and I was like, okay, well, what do you mean by that? And he said, don't need you falling for me.
Only 3 months after this is...
Well, the thing is, if you start with children, they don't know any better. That's why he's flirting with kids. Jesus Christ, this is terrible. What's wrong with this?
The Buddy was catfished once again, this time by a YouTuber named Activist Plug, who had spent 3 months convincing the Buddy that he was a 17-year-old girl. However, Buddy had apparently learned somewhat of a lesson from his past experiences, as he kept the conversation platonic the whole time, yet he'd still agreed to meet up with the non-existent 17-year-old, where Activist Plug was there to confront him.
How are you? Still good. Good. What are you up to? Bro, what the fuck? Did, like, he show up with a team of cicadas? What's happening here? This is ridiculous.
You hanging out? Yep. Not meeting friends? Yep. So you don't know anyone by the name of Cat? No. No, anybody. You weren't meeting anyone here about it? No. You sure? Yeah, pretty sure.
Buddy had been
What the fuck?
busted once again, this time in the most embarrassing setting to date, after which it seemed as though the Buddy shenanigans might have finally been coming to an end. He'd retire his presence on TikTok and instead become a streamer on Twitch. However, with his most impressive Twitch clip being him getting 5 kills on Fortnite, it's not difficult to see how his account, going by the name of Papa Freak, was unable to gain more than 300 followers. But he would also try to launch a SoundCloud music career under the name Freak Alpha. However, to put it lightly, the music wasn't very good.
Who would have thought that falling in reverse would be the claim to fame, and after all these months still king of the game, everyone knows my name.
It seemed as though the...
Yeah, you're probably better off trying to fucking rizz up kids. Not good.
But I had run out of ways to progress on the internet, so he'd delete his Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook before going silent. Rumours began to circulate that he'd been arrested for driving slowly in a school zone.
He's not a real... Okay, Sonny, whatever your name is. Vinny, I don't know. It's just a joke.
Although he wasn't even on the internet to the inside of the story.
There's doesn't matter what video you watch, what he was claiming to. You're gonna find something just dumb enough. Yeah, listen to this guy.
He'd been arrested for, so he deleted his Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, going silent. Rumors began to circulate that he'd been arrested for driving slowly in a school zone.
This is a joke. It wasn't real. This wasn't an actual thing. This is a joke. Well, you say it like it's actual. Like a legitimate claim. Got arrested.
Although he wasn't even on the internet to give his side of the story. That would be until January 2021, approximately 18 months after anyone had heard from him. When the Buddy would create a new YouTube channel called Papa Freak before uploading a video titled Campfire Chat Clearing the Air, in which Buddy would finally give his full side of the story. He began by talking about why he joined TikTok in the first place.
Back in 18, I started TikTok, started enjoying it, I wanted to find an outlet to entertain people.
I'm sorry to start this video,
Me being the butt of the joke, making cringe videos and me just not really caring what people think.
Before giving a possible motive for his own poor decisions.
I dealt with a lot of depression, anxiety, since there's a lot of those videos that I was not necessarily in my correct state of mind.
Buddy would then explain that he was making an effort.
That's true. You're actually supposed to drive slow. That's why I speed through school zones. I feel with 70 miles an hour. But yeah, that's a good point. You're supposed to do that. I wonder if you actually have to.
I stay away from TikTok. As much as you can ask me that, I stopped drinking completely. I'm back on my medicine. I'm in therapy.
The Buddy's last real offensive was...
Oh, that's true. If it's true, maybe this will help you.
The Buddy is
Recently, you guys probably saw it in a video about I just talked about the trial that recently. Basically, she accused Legal Geek of plagiarism. That was followed up with people basically outing her for plagiarism. It was overall just kind of a rough situation. And she released a response that makes me pretty split. This is obviously just like a non-point ad hominem attack. Blair's voice, I think personally, makes me have bad thoughts in my brain when I hear it. I can say what those thoughts are, but I just don't like the way she sounds. But anyway, that's not a real criticism, obviously. If she has something good to say in the video, if it's substantive, I think it's worth just hearing the whole thing.
So I'm sure as many things that said about me doesn't understand I'm someone who doesn't see my side of things and it's like this is just about multiple things that I'm going to like a lot of the things that I'm going to do are things that I'm past and I'm really not to this really and it's not something that I'm going to use there's one things to be really honest I've done people that have positions and so many tricks and things like that there's business issues now before we get into any things about me I have apologized privately to people maybe this is making sure it's here and for those who are aware questions my editors came to me about how parts of the video were similar to our videos and then there were messages in the email from one of the people's editors that seemed information about how to do some effects I looked at your images and to me and I said effect is not recent work and I posted most of it truthfully I should have put this instead of just putting the information out there because I didn't have information and a mistake and it's a little back to me so to legal people I just want to reiterate that it's not that I'm sorry for the issues and I want to extend that apology to my audience and to listeners who are disappointed in me because I also disappointed.
Honestly, I mean, so far, right off the bat, she addresses that, says she apologizes. I feel like what I'm supposed to do, like, sensational purposes, be like her, but, I mean, if she says she's sorry, I mean, she posts on Twitter, you can go to her Twitter account, right here, it says she apologized. I want to reach out and apologize for the tweet yesterday. I was supposed to protect my editors when they brought this to but, you know, reacted to the tweets. I understood things for the apology, things for deleting. I mean, I don't know, kind of resolved in that perspective. Like, at the very least, I feel like she should be let off that thing, right? I don't know if it's a totally sincere apology. I can never know Blair's intentions, but I also kind of don't care, like, what's going on inside her head that I can guess at. Like, if she's apologizing, right? And that's good. Someone, that claimed to be one of Blair's former moderators reached out to my VOD team on the Discord asking to basically be a part of like some kind of content maybe or like spill some beats to me anonymously. I just told them through my mod, I was like, I don't really want to talk to them. You can make a public statement or something, but I don't want to get into that. Like, I don't want to be like involved in outing something personal. Like, if it already gets out and I make a video on it, I'm fine with that. Unless that person is like a complete freak. But even at that, like, I try to stay out of that because it's just not, you know, I don't want to be like making a video interviewing someone about their personal experience with someone else for the most part. Like, unless it's like super heinous. But in this case, it's just like she was kind of a shit to people. She was kind of mean. And I just didn't want to be involved in that. Like, I mentioned another situation like this recently where my Puppy Chan video. There's this kid in that video that I mentioned who claimed to be groomed by Puppy Chan, but he never posted evidence. In the video, I just said that, but then he was like tweeting out that he like needs to contact me. He was messaging my Discord mod saying I don't care about grooming victims. And I just told him, I was like, dude, you got groomed. You should have posted evidence. If you have more, you should post it publicly, but I'm not your therapist. Like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to know you. I don't want to be your friend. I've been an entertaining video about something that happened. If you want to post evidence that Puppy Chan groomed someone, then you should post that. If they groom you, you should post that. And I'll probably do a follow-up video after, because why wouldn't I? But I'm not going to, like, interview you to, like, give you clout or something.
As we continue in this video, I do want to give you a heads up that there will be trigger warnings for various sections as needed. I also want to go ahead and let you know that I will be providing a public Google Drive containing any and all relevant information that I will address in this video, similar to how I provide a source document for every episode of mine. Let's start with the first accusation and go from there.
Thank you, Cody.
After Legal Eagle responded to these tweets, there was another tweet that arose in tandem to this situation. And that tweet was made by another YouTuber called H-Bomber Guy. And this YouTuber is someone who also creates longer form content. As someone who creates this type of content and researches various topics, the main thing to keep in mind is the source material used. Things like articles, interviews, videos, documentaries, academic essays, and so on and so forth. As video essayists, this is a core concept to both Harris and myself. Before I get into the accusation itself, I want to address the topic of plagiarism. And that word has been tossed around a ton, and it's not something to be taken lightly. And I just want to take a minute to define this word. On screen are definitions for the word plagiarism as defined by Merriam-Webster, Dictionary.com, and the University of Oxford. I'm showing multiple sources defining plagiarism, but the overall definition is going to boil down to this. Plagiarism is to take someone else's idea as their own or to not credit the source. With that definition being clearly identified, let's go ahead and take a look at what Harris brought to it. Harris posted this video saying, and I quote, personally, at Illuminati, I would define plagiarism as something a bit more specific. For example, copying someone else's documentary and directly into your script, end quote. However, in his own video, he shows where I'm audibly quoting a direct line from the documentary and even visually
Thanks for checking out the stream today.
On either end of that quote, indicating that more of that source was being cited. When you go to my sourcing page for this particular episode, you can also see that the documentary is listed as source. It has been 3 years since I posted this episode, and I've been really grateful to be able to continually learn and time. Since then, I've learned to be much more aware of these citations, something that may not have been done 20 years ago. I apologize for the oversight of not making that so clear. At the time of the voting, it was really obvious to me that it was a citation of a documentary, especially in full context of that section of my video, because that section was wholly dedicated to Brian Throug's work. And for some clarification, I would like to remind both you and Harris of the script while I believe
Honestly, fair enough. I mean, if it was just directly quoted and she's using that, to me, the way it was edited, it looked like there was like one small quote and then the rest of it was just like stuff that she was reading that she was claiming for her own. But as she says, maybe she just didn't communicate that best. So, I don't know. I'm willing to give her a pass on that one, right? Like, unless there's something I'm missing here, based on what she said, it seems like it's not as bad as I initially thought, you know, about the plagiarism accusation. So from that perspective, it's like she was quoting something. She could have made it more clear what was being quoted in the rest of the clip because she only showed the first part of it, in fairness. If you go to H Bomber Guy's account and watch the whole video, which I don't think she showed.
Professor Hugh Fudenberg. Professor Fudenberg has long been controversial.
a man named Hugh Fudenberg, a former immunologist who has been long controversial.
In 1989, he was caught up in a bizarre lawsuit involving the Food and Drug Administration, which told him he had to stop injecting his autistic child patients with blood products.
In 1989, he was caught up in a bizarre lawsuit with the Food and Drug Administration, which told him he had to stop injecting his autistic patients with blood products.
Then in 1995, he was suspended from practicing medicine and made to pay a $10,000 fine for his misuse and misprescribing of controlled drugs.
Then in 1995, he was suspended from practicing medicine and made to pay a $10,000 fine for his misuse of prescribing controlled drugs.
See, there's no quote there. She highlights a different thing. It doesn't indicate that she's quoting anything, right? It highlights the respondent's license to practice medicine in this state is hereby indefinitely suspended, but she didn't show that that was a quote there. So I think that's part of why people took it as direct plagiarism, right?
Made to pay a $10,000 fine for his misuse of prescribing controlled drugs.
So, okay, I admit, not as egregious as I initially thought, not as innocent as she's saying, but it's not quite straight ripping, right? Like, she did quote it, she did put it there. At some point, like, if you go to this part right there, you can see it on screen, and then if you go to the description, you know, she did link it. So, in that way, it's like, it's not as bad.
Emphasizing the key phrase of the quote about stopping injections on autistic children was and still is very important to point out. The quote should have been fully displayed on screen. This was certainly a poor editing choice, and it's an editing style that I no longer utilize, but it's certainly not plagiarism. But with that being said, I still want to take accountability for this video, so I still would like to apologize for the citation not being made more clear visually in that video. Harris, I am also someone who takes plagiarism seriously, and I do see where your criticism comes from, but unfortunately, this was simply an oversight on an editing error, but not an act of plagiarism. To me, at the time of recording, the entire section was very obviously a citation, even as seen in the script. There was a visual change to break up the many words that would otherwise be just chunked onto the screen, which, looking back at it, despite not being so visually appealing from the words on screen, this should have been an opportunity to provide that full quote to
Thank you, Rob, for becoming a member.
Based on the definition of the word plagiarism, his claims are simply false. Not only is the source quoted on screen, it's also cited in the sources list, which again, are provided on Google Drive. As a more seasoned video essayist now, I've been lucky that I'm able to learning how to showcase facts and other relevant materials in an interesting and educational way, and I'm really excited that I get to continue doing that. I'd like to think that in the last few years, myself and my team have grown to create better content that's educational and entertaining, and this is really an example of how we have improved society. I have nothing but love for everyone, editors, writers, artists, and even some of the nuts of money characters like people. I'm always going to have their back, even if sometimes it's still critical people are making mistakes. We're going to be able to improve content as the years continue, and we'll always be able to learn and improve from the house. Before I answer this person individually, I want to kind of have a think in general and broader scope regarding Sadmilk. Sadmilk was a collaboration channel started by 6 friends.
Thank you, Cody's for the $1.
It was kind of essentially group Reddit readings and just looking at cringe
First
things online.
super chat. Welcome to the game.
No big deal on the surface. This channel and this project was just meant to be something goofy, easy, and kind of cringy, but a shared channel that we could all get a kick out of. It was just supposed to be a bunch of friends hanging out, reacting to funny images, and just having a good time together. I mean, the channel name was literally called Sadmilk, so it wasn't really something that anyone was taking too seriously. Discussing Sadmilk now in current day is always a little bit bittersweet for me. It was a fun project among friends that turned sour. The issues I'm about to address cost me some of my closest friends at that time. When the Sadmilk channel was formed, I initially took the lead and I made the channel, I made the Discord, I got my mods from my server to help run the new Discord, I hired and managed video editors to help us produce more content. I was the one who was sourcing the topics and files for each video, and I was the one who had set the schedules for recording too. The reality of the situation was this: with creators in different time zones, it was logistically pretty hard to get everyone together at one place at one time. We tried to do it organically multiple times, but unfortunately someone would always end up missing from the recordings. There's a lot of work behind the scenes that goes into a YouTube channel, and I bore the brunt of it for this project, and it wasn't something that I was doing to have total control as some members have suggested. I managed the schedules and the editors because it was just something that needed to be done. People weren't stepping into the plate, and I did, and I ultimately bit off more than I could chew. It was a lot of work, if we're being honest, and I was beginning to burn out pretty quickly. Had I known how I would have been treated through this channel afterwards, I never would have joined this project. Essentially, everyone in the group had two main responsibilities for Sadmilk. The first was that you had to show up to the scheduled recording, and the second was you had to pay your portion of the editor's fees as they arise. After the editors were paid, any earnings that were left in the channel were split into 6 equal pieces for each person. Since this was a project among friends, we all initially agreed to just split earnings this way, even though we were taking on some extra responsibilities. Editors, I wasn't answered or told that I had to do this at various points. They
see here. You'll fulfill your obligations to the group of me. Hi, yes, I'm aware, and I apologize. Tell you what, I'll transfer the money from my own account and figure out the expense replacement later. Should have done so sooner. It's not fair someone else has money out of pocket because of my slow bank. I will send it today. Never intended for Sad Milk to be a backburning thing, but I do hope it doesn't leave that as a lasting impression. I'm regretful it took so long. Sad Milk was not the only expense that was put on hold. No longer that what I would have liked. I will make sure not to be late on anything like this in the future. I assure you it's a one-time thing. So this is just, he's saying it's a one-time thing that he was not able to make a payment right away. And then it looks like 10 minutes later, he's like, money sent now. He said it reached the credit limit, had a bunch of outgoing stuff for the company, and Sad Milk fell on the wrong side. I will transfer as soon as I checked off the outstanding stuff when I get the paperwork in a couple of days. Sorry for the delay. Hey, I understand that you, Sad Milk, find some back burner for you, but unfortunately, it's not the case for me. The reason for that is every time someone does not pay their bill, I'm the one who fronts that money. At this point, it's been almost 2 months of waiting for a company card from you to pay Sad Milk. Although I'm not in dire financial straits, this is something that has been developing negatively in a personal sense with you. We both come from the same career backgrounds, so there's extremely heavy focus on accountability and planning, and I have a deep respect for you in that regard because of our previous similar career paths, which is why I find the situation all the more disappointing, and that you're a member of Sad Milk who's suffering from an inability to rectify their account with Sad Milk. I mean, why not just pay with your personal account? Like, I think it's not that big of a deal. I don't know. I don't have the most business smarts or whatever. I'm not the most knowledgeable, but I guess if I was him, I probably would just pay that right away. But he did end up just paying it, and then, so I don't really see what the issue is. I guess she's just showing that she was taking the brunt of the situation here, right? Because she was always, I mean, she says here she's the one always paying, and the clique doesn't seem to argue with that. She's like, I'm always paying when someone can't pay that week. So yeah.
Vast majority of members of the group. They would eventually get around to reimbursing me only after I expressed in the meetings how I was upset that I would do everything, and I also got stuff from the too. What really transpired was that members either put in or would reimburse me for the letters. For clarity's sake.
To add extra clarification, Wonder could pay the editor fees. To start editing for SM to not pay his fees, but also get more money. They would pay $60 for an editor's work, and Wonder also didn't edit, let's say $300, then Wonder would pay $240. Okay.
I do want to disclose that because currently later revised our agreement after paying all editors and freelancers that 5% of the earnings would go to me for the additional components to it. The remaining earnings would then be split with us. The channel name carried over and actually was a lot more than we were. Something that brought up in his Twitter thread was that I was free and open, but what he didn't share was legit feedback. As I previously stated, the scheduling and funding issues have been the meeting that he referenced on Twitter was about I was more and more frustrated about how I was doing more work for and then I was also having to financially fund the project. As I said, it was burning me out quickly and thinking about Oz Media suggested that he tried to run the meeting and I not attend. But on topic and click were very insistent that I be there, even though I said I was not ready to talk and I needed more time. So when I did the call, I tried to let everyone know that I was uncomfortable with having a conversation and I was not ready for it. Again, I would like to point out that at this point in time, these were still my friends. These were people that I liked and cared about. Letting your friends know, hey, I'm not okay right now, I'm really stressed and hurt. Well, you all get the stream, I still have to pick up the pieces to keep this channel going is a really difficult conversation to have. Before the meeting started, I was told that if I didn't show up, that they would not have the conversation with me and everything would just end me. So I tried to put the channel and my friends' needs above my own. Reluctantly, I joined the conversation and out of frustration at this happening, and again, I raised my voice and said, can you shut up and let me talk for once? And he left the call, and that's the last time I ever spoke with him. Looking back at it now, I should not have spoken to my friend like that. I felt that I wasn't given time to process and think things through, and in process of, the emotion vomit came out. One topic, I would like to apologize for that, this time publicly. Clearly, this was a situation that affected all of us very deeply and personally, and this wasn't exciting.
Damn. So you're telling me this Illuminati's girl boss? It's kind of hard for me to totally interpret this drama, because, like, it is kind of just a he said, she said thing, and even now, like, with Illuminati, I saw one screenshot that didn't, I mean, whatever happened in that call, we don't even know, so it doesn't seem so far like it's as cut and dry as we initially thought in terms of like her being an abusive boss or something like that, you know what I mean? This is all just like, this person said this thing, this person said this thing, nobody's producing receipts for any of it. There is a lot more, it looks like, screenshots in this video, so maybe we'll see more, but it looks like it's mostly referencing public tweets and stuff like that. I'm curious to see what she says about deleting comments and things like that, because people were alleging that she would like delete negative comments on the Sad Milk channel, so I'm curious to see that. So this is actual gaslighting, but the thing is, like, I just can't know that, because I wasn't there.
Lighting idea, but one that never really took off the way I think we thought it could. So all of the members of Sad Milk.
She likes to gaslight people, she attacks smaller channels for talking about MLMs or similar topics to her, she's just falling off, man. The thing is, attacking smaller channels for talking about MLMs is not gaslighting. That's just being mean and being, like, overly protective of something you don't own. That's not gaslighting. Gaslighting is when you convince someone they're crazy. If you can show me that where she did that, I'd like to see that. And, okay, she's fallen off. I mean, she's not fallen off. Everyone says fallen off. If you go to the Illuminati channel, I mean, she got 10 million views this month. That's like $60,000, $70,000 in ad revenue. She's definitely not fallen off. I mean, subtract the expenses. I don't know how much she pays people, but she's still taking in like 30, 40K.
I just want to say that I'm very sorry that I caused you stress throughout this project. I want to take a couple minutes to bring up the click and the many claims that he made on Twitter recently. The click brings up how, as he puts it, a very convenient series of videos resurfaced with him saying some
hey, how she makes herself the hero. She does do that in her videos, which I don't like.
Not so savory things after he left Sad Milk. I'm not going to dive into it further. The information's out there if you so choose to look. And as Click stated, those videos are 11 to 14 years
Thanks for the 10, Christian. Yeah,
here,
sure.
those videos are not any of the reasons as to why we split ways in Sad Milk, as Click tries to insinuate. Even back in 2020, I had stated that those videos had nothing to do with the end of Sad Milk. I was actually unaware of those videos at the time of our friendship, but had I been aware of them, that friendship would have likely ended sooner. Unfortunately, when those videos surfaced, it wasn't really all that shocking to me, as Oz Media and I actually talked about how Click had been using the R slur while we played games together. I thought, or I wanted to...
Okay. Who cares, mother... The Click is actually based. Click says retard based? Based moment for the Click? Why would she not be friends with someone who said, like, I don't know, offensive things like 10 years ago? What did the Click even do? The Click old videos. I guess maybe we can't find it because it's so old, but I'd like to see whatever it was.
To assume that I had misheard, but Oz said that he was uncomfortable with it and said something, but the language continued. Click, you are right. Those videos in question are old, and at this point, they're kind of irrelevant. People can learn and mean and change. That being said, at the time in 2020, Click was still using horrifying language and slurs that have long been deemed unacceptable. I'd now like to address the Click's claims that I had
horrifying? Horrifying. He said retard. Is that really your problem, bro? Okay, I hate her again. I hate her again. I'm mad again.
Control of his Discord server by, as he says, tossing around accusations at staff. Because unfortunately, there were some truly sinister things occurring in the Click's Discord that were brought to my attention. For this next section, I would like to provide a trigger warning. There will be mentions of explicit sexual language, mentions of pedophilia, graphic imagery, and inappropriate behavior. Before I go further into this, I want to mention that there's going to be resources in my description box regarding what I'm about to discuss.
Bruh.
It's relevant to bring up that in 2019, the Click's channel was terminated by YouTube for sexual content. At the time, a few YouTubers, including myself and Oz Media, band together to help reinstate Click's channel.
Wait, is she a bunch of losers? The Click channel's removed sexual content. For those of you who don't know him, he's a Reddit reader / commentator. No, the Click. You're fired, C-Dollar. Apparently I am fired. I'm fired from the Illuminati editing team. He's a Redditor, guys, or woman. Do you choose Redditor or female leftist who gets upset when you say R slur when you play Fortnite, guys? I don't know. It's hard to say.
At the time, a few YouTubers, including myself and Oz Media, band together to help reinstate Click's channel. Oz spoke to his MCN representative, and I spoke with YouTube directly. This is something that I now look back on with so much regret. And I know at the time what was going on behind the scenes, I never would have participated in helping with this channel. Allow me to explain the situation a little bit. The Click and I had shared Discord moderators around the time of Sad Milk Day 3. Due to Click's inaction, our shared moderators had brought the situation in his server to my attention. In Click's Discord, there was a 19-year-old bragging about a 12-year-old that he was claiming to be involved with. The moderator reached out to get more information on the situation. This 19-year-old then reiterates the I talked with my therapist about it, even too, and he told me as long as I don't touch her, he's okay.
Yo! He's the therapist. What the... Fire that guy. Fire that dude. Holy... It's as long as you don't touch her, it's fine. Bro. No. What the flipping freak?
The team did not pursue any immediate action to ban, restrict, or report this individual. So those shared mods came to me, and they told me that they were uncomfortable. So we used this individual's ID number, and we banned them from the Sad Milk server and from my server, and we reported them to Discord's trusted safety team, who we hope did pursue this further. Then I went to contact Click to see what was going on, and it was mainly because I didn't want to believe that he would blow off someone clearly discussing such an inappropriate relationship. In fact, this was right off the heels of one of his admins sharing graphic content to people that they knew were minors. One thing that I would like to point out here is how his users were pushing material to a minor who explicitly states that their parent was in the room with them, so they were hiding their phone. I would like to point out that a common tactic for abusers who are attempting to groom children is that they expose them to pornography and other sexual content in an attempt to desensitize the child. I'll provide Rain's page on grooming for further information. And if you're a child currently in a similar situation, I urge you to speak to a trusted adult or authorities. And again, resources will be provided below. Having to relook at these messages again still makes my stomach turn, even 3 years later. When Click didn't initially take action, I switched tactics with him, and I called one topic. I got to a call with both of them, and I shared these files with them. And one topic of the files, he was horrified. He said, quote, I've read one, and I don't want access to those screenshots. It was after this conversation that Click took action and reported and removed that individual from the server. I really wouldn't like to make accusations like this unless I had seen them to myself. And let me be abundantly clear here, I am not trying to accuse the Click of pedophilia, nor do I have any reason to believe that he could be. However, he cultivated an environment and was waiting around for inappropriate behavior with minors to occur, and that's exactly what happened.
Okay, so... The thing about this one is, I don't think she said up until this point whether or not Click was even notified that this was happening. He could have not even known. As for cultivating an environment, like, you know, when you have someone as your Discord mod, like, you don't always know if they're a creep or not until it happens. Like, years ago, there was this dude in my Discord server that ended up being a creep who was on the staff for a bit. I didn't know that. I couldn't have predicted that. Once you find out, you take action, you can, but from what I can tell, like, the Click didn't know beforehand, so... I'm curious what the major sort of allegation even is here. Like, he cultivated an unhealthy, like, okay, he had happened that he didn't know. Once you told him, he tried to fix it, right? You said the admins tried contacting him, but he didn't respond. Last turn to her. Well, maybe he just wasn't online for a day. Isn't that possible? Like, I feel like it's extremely unlikely that he knew and didn't do anything, or like chose to do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he was just busy. Couldn't the admins just ban that person and then report them to the police or something. Isn't that possible? And also, this has nothing to do with why would she not want to reinstate his channel because of this. I also don't understand that. He didn't do anything, as far as I can tell.
Our shared moderators approached me in my server about this very serious situation in his server was extremely uncomfortable, but something the moderation team felt needed action that was not being taken. Furthermore, referring to these shared moderators that we had as spies, as he said on Twitter, it only dismisses the fact that he allowed this sexually explicit language to occur around minors. He referred to them as spies, which only shows that he didn't really see any statement. Mark, I'm going to address you directly here. On your Discord server that had, and still has, minors present, you as an adult need to do the right thing and actually pay attention to what goes down in your server or ensure a team will take action against inappropriate behavior. I am sorry to those minors who were spoken to in such an inappropriate way. You were, and some of you likely are, still children. Adults should not be having sexually charged conversations with you.
Okay, I mean, you can try your best. Like, in my server, we pretty much just don't, as far as I'm aware anyway, my policy is that we just don't allow sexual conversations no matter what. You can try your best. But sometimes, like, stuff just happens and you can't always predict it or know what's happening. Especially if it's a big server with a lot of channels or it happens outside of the server. Like, it just doesn't seem like that, I don't know, serious in this situation. It doesn't seem like the clique knew. I mean, I don't know that, but benefit of the doubt, where it's deserved, right? I feel like that's the least I can do for this dude. I don't know. I feel like he's not as evil as you may think.
Sharing sexually explicit photos with you. This is and always has been unacceptable. I will be providing links in the description box for the resources for anyone. I did what I could, but I wish I could have done more, and I wish the clique had more accountability for his own server. I also hope that since my falling out with the clique, that he has learned from his past errors and learned better himself. I hope that he and his current moderation team have been themselves. The past 3 years have been challenging to all of us, and I think it's the pandemic has changed us in one way or another. Clique, I hope you have learned to not tolerate such behavior in your server. I hope that you have learned from this and that you'll continue to strive to do better. I truly regret everything. And I hope that I can finally close the door on that chapter in my life. I want nothing to do with you, and I can only hope that I will no longer be associated with you after all of this. When it comes to discussing Wonderstruck, his actions are some of the most confusing I've had to deal with. I'm going to address his concerns, though a lot of it is fairly tricky since he hinges his accusations on anecdotal commentary. In responding to his baseless claims, I will provide evidence as necessary, as well as point out when things I mention are anecdotal. So I completely understand if you choose to dismiss my anecdotal commentary as it arises. His thread on Twitter makes many claims about who I am as a person and how I treat you. I will deal with this with a level head and a very thorough.
Odd thing to bring up is it was resolved quite smoothly. I agree with that. Like, it looked resolved, so I don't know why I bring it up, right? With him in specific anyway. She did do a lot of the work in the collab channel, but that was also the role she wanted and insisted on having. It was very hard to help out. She would not offer proper access to either the channel, editor communication, drive, you name it. We didn't also tell her to raise her cut of the channel when it became apparent she did more hours. She declined. So he's saying we did tell her. Which is fine by me, but it turns down when she demanded help, but also would not give access to do so. As for the meeting, she's the one who demanded a meeting. When OT didn't let Oz talk over us, he was still acting mediator at the time. She stormed towards the mic. Listening in the background, screaming, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. Now it's me who's talking. It didn't get more pleasant as it went on. As for the Discord, yes, we had a random creep into VC. It's a large public Discord. It happens sadly, as most server owners will attest to. A couple of mods failed to act in a timely manner. They're not in the team anymore, obviously. Also good to keep in mind these mods are community volunteers, not trained law. Yeah, true. But the claim I didn't respond to it is technically true because it was 3 a.m. in my time zone. By the time I woke up, the individual was already banned. Okay, now I don't know if this is true, but Blair provided no evidence to the contrary, so I'm inclined to think that the clique is telling the truth, which is what I geniusly guessed, right? Blair and her team had already gone in full swing to accuse anyone of being a greedo, a half-asleep bot not responding to ban fast enough, no defender. People were trying to de-escalate, no allies. You get the gist. This was escalated to her trying to replace my whole team with her own. Also worth mentioning, the admin that was removed for explicit content isn't consistent with the timeline. This person was actually removed by me personally when this was brought to light. It also happened months, I think, before all the rest. Also, click using vile language up until 2020. I do recall saying it once in context to you and your server when we started working. One of your mods actually gave me a warning for it. We laughed about it together, Blair, because I didn't know it was a bad word, and the mod kept warning me. Kept the warning as a Mimi badge of honor. Because he said retard. So that you would have cut ties by such gross behavior is actually just a lie. We laughed about it because obviously it wasn't meant in bad faith. It was a silly occurrence. Also bringing up the time my channel was wrongfully terminated, really? I appreciate my friends at the time who were there, but you weren't the one who saved me, Blair. My MC ended after fighting for 3 weeks over Christmas, so cut the shit. Also worth mentioning, you deleted the Sad Milk community tab after I called out your behavior with the comment section. Good thing I have the screenshots. I will be making a full response video after I let the adrenaline pass. I'm done taking your slander after 2.5 years. Damn. Well, curious to see what his response is, I guess. Obviously, we've already passed this section of the video. Thankfully, we're halfway through. The torture! Hope we can keep watching. I don't know, so far, plagiarism thing, I'm down to be on her side on. The personal drama, which initially I was more on her side, now that she's brought up some more stuff, now I'm more dubious as to how I feel.
Let's start with Wonder's accusation of wage theft. That's a big one, and it's important. I talk often about how paying your people is important. So I know how I want to get Muslim have that accusation thrown back at me. To begin, let me explain Wonder's employment history with me. During Sadmill, all of us were contractors to that jail. We were paid as contractors and exist in our respective countries on our own, as not all members of citizens. As many of you are aware, video editing is largely considered labor. In the industry, most folks are contractors and work on a variety of projects with compliance at the same time. During December 2020, like all of the members of Sadmill, Wonder was considered a contractor. On December 24th, 2020, at 5:39 a.m., I received a message from Wonder letting me know that he took a shot at reworking a video that had already been edited by a different contractor. I did not ask him to do this. I responded to him, letting him know that his edits would go live at 1 p.m. on December 24th, 2020. We don't want to claim finalized early morning on Christmas Eve. As for his claim that he didn't get paid for his work for more than half a month, I would like to let everyone know that Satell's payroll was on a bi-weekly schedule. That simply means that there is a payment every 2 weeks, which is essentially half a month. This is something that I have continued within my own channel to this day. Salaried and contracted employees are paid every 2 weeks. And to further add to that, most companies, at least in the US, pay on bi-weekly schedules, so this is not anything unusual. To continue the discussion of his employment with me, I will have to give some much needed context. Wonder and I were still friends around the end of Cyclone 2020 as well as early 2021. During this time, he would often help both Ozzy and myself how living in Austin, Texas was a nightmare for him. He would often complain about his roommates being terrible people, his friends being mostly terrible people, and motivated to do well in life, and how his car was always breaking down, and how his channel was not going in the direction he wanted. And then he talked about that last bit of family that he had in a way, and he was essentially alone. I won't speak on behalf of Oz, but I know I was moved by Wonder's stories. Without going into personal details, I was pretty horrified by what he had explained happened in his past. I was saddened by how he constantly talked about how bad his life was and how he felt like a failure. He said he felt alone, depressed, and uncertain about the future. And at that point, I knew I wanted to help him in whatever way I could. At the end of 2020, I paid for his tickets to visit Oz and me in Colorado. During this trip, we discussed the feasibility of Wonder moving out to Colorado due to his discontent with his life in Texas. Oz Media and I had just moved into his newly purchased home in April 2021, and he decided to welcome Wonder into his house. Unless Oz Media was doing so without my understanding, Wonder was not charged any rent, utilities, or internet.
The Wonder stuff was the most questionable, just because it was so like based on personal interactions, basically. Wonder responded by saying, "I'm aware Blair has made a video concerning all of what has happened. I haven't watched it yet. We're all expecting her to either spin a response or bury it, which is her MO, has been for years. This, many people don't consecutively come forward about your behavior. As weak and small as I feel having this video come out from such a large creator, as much as I want to bomb and hide away, I won't. I'm still not afraid. I won't disrespect myself. Working on a response, brain is reasonably fried." I mean, the thing is, this idea, like, this many people don't particularly come forward about your behavior, well, I have seen situations like with Slazo, which was years ago, if any of you guys even remember that, where a bunch of people did come forward about behavior and ended up being wrong because they all just got it from one source and just believed this one person, right? So that can't happen.
Later in May 2021, we welcomed Wonder into the house. At this point, I was finally starting to feel comfortable with my channel, and I felt that I was in a good position to be able to help somebody out and truly change the lives of one of my close friends. With that in mind, I decided to hire Wonder to do some editing work for my channel. Wonder was hired on June 7th, 2021, and was salaried at $50,000 a year. His only task was to edit short clips from any live streams that I did, so that I could post them onto my secondary channel, Illuminati. In addition to his salary, he received all benefits that I have from all of my salaried employees, which include a 401k, full health insurance, and an internal benefit I created for my team called an LSA. The LSA stands for a lifestyle spending account, and it's essentially more money to put on the table if you as an employee. It allows you to submit receipts for things that you purchase. During this time, I unfortunately only had 2 streams free for work, which Wonder would have been able to produce about 4 videos from. Wonder did not meet the deadlines for either stream. Despite this, I kept him on payroll and continued his pay, even though no work had ever been completed. Although there was only a minuscule amount of work for Wonder to do, he still managed to act up in company spaces. He made inappropriate comments on forums that were visible to other employees, he didn't complete tasks that were assigned to him, and he failed to follow company protocol. I have a strict and within his short time of working with me, he had already met the criteria for termination.
She's basically just saying he kind of deserves to be fired. The thing about the Wonder stuff is that's all he said, she said. Wonder provided no receipts other than showing that her house looked like a mess. So, in that way, it's like, what can you really refute or say? He's right, she's right. How am I to know? You know what I mean?
Now, let's move on to the legalities that Wonder brought up in regards to how he claims that he ended up with no car, barely any clothing, no money, and no home, which leads me to one of the stupidest mistakes of my life. After repeatedly hearing Wonder's claims that he needed a car, and after believing what he said about how miserable he was, I decided to try and help my friend in a way that I now realize was pretty idiotic. After many in-depth discussions with Wonder, I made the decision to purchase a vehicle that he had already agreed to enter into a rental contract with the city. On June 12, 2021, Oz Media and I collectively decided to take out a loan together in the amount of $42,359.69. Additionally, I brought $28,000.
She bought him a BMW? What?
That he had already agreed to enter into a rental contract with the city. On June 12, 2021, Oz Media...
She bought him a... Is this a brand new 2 Series? Really? This is where Wonder's monthly payment number comes from, in case of curiosity. I only changed the exact amount. So I guess Wonder left out the fact that he was like, she was going to BMW dealerships. She was like, well, I was getting you a BMW.
Additionally, I brought $28,346.79 in cash as a deposit. Wonder did not contribute to the deposit of the car. With this rental contract, I agreed to only charge Wonder the cost of the loan and not the full value of the car itself, meaning within a 24-month period, he would have only paid $14,120.12 for a car that, when purchased, went for a grand total of $61,386.43. And let me be clear here, aside from him accepting my job offer, this was the only legal documentation between the two of us. Just know that the most important thing was that after 2 years of consecutive car payments and following all of the stipulations, the vehicle title would be transferred over to Wonder with the amount that we put into the car, as well as payments on the car that I continued to make monthly. I own the car outright with no lingering auto debt after that 24-month period. In a DM, Wonder later told me that if he hadn't accepted my job offer and my rental agreement, that he would still have an apartment, a car, and close to $10K in his bank account. I'd like to reiterate that unless Oz was charging rent without my knowledge, Wonder was living rent-free while earning $1,923.08 every other week, and would have to pay only $588.34 once a month. In reality, the agreement I made with Wonder would have me lose $47,266.11. And again, looking back at this, I feel extremely foolish for ever even agreeing to such an arrangement.
So they don't make money off Wonder or whatever he might try to claim, just to try and help Frank get back on their feet. I want to be honest, you didn't need to give them a Beamer, but maybe you just wanted to have it when they were done with them, right? If I had to buy someone a car, I'd buy them a shitbox. I'd buy them the worst car ever. I would buy them a clapped out piece of 2010 Civic. Honestly, even a clapped out Civic is not that bad.
Two outstanding instances that voided our agreement. The first was the proof of insurance that Wonder never provided. The second infraction of our agreement occurred when Wonder left the state of Colorado to go back to Austin, Texas, due to multiple defaults that were not contracted. I had no choice but to replace the vehicle, which was when I landed in Austin, Texas, I called the non-emergency Austin PD 211 number to explain the situation to them. I told them I had both the title documents on me, I had a key, and I had insurance, and I asked them how much I received. They told me they were unconcerned as I was well within my legal right to collect my own property. They furthermore offered me a police escort for the repossession if I wasn't able to collect the car on my own. So on July 29, 2021, I was able to get a hold of my vehicle and I took back my property. I would like to take a moment to rate the condition of the vehicle upon its repossession. Within 1 month of using the vehicle, the car was visibly soiled, trash was littered in the car, contained dirty clothing, which consisted of unusual 2 pairs of dirty boxes, 3 mismatched socks.
Was he living in the car?
Huge crack that went across most of the windshield. And
Was he pissing on the Alcantara, guys?
for some reason, the glove box compartment in the front passenger seat was somehow broken. The state of the vehicle was shocking, to be honest, but at this point, I was just really happy and Oz, I want to thank you again for helping me throughout this entire situation. You knew better than anyone how much this situation affected both of us, and I can't explain.
Okay, so Wonder says her house is ripped up. She says, well, I gave him a car to check out. It was, you know, it was like a used by the time I got it back. Like, it was ran the through.
Express how much your support meant and continues to mean to me. He yelled and screamed extensively at both of us.
I bought him a car. Okay, that is different though. In fairness, like, she did get him a car that she wanted, like eventually. She was just having to make monthly payments on it, and she didn't give it to him for a while. So I don't know.
You didn't deserve that, and I didn't either. But I'm still sorry that this hurt you too.
Wonder's mental health.
I just want to.
Is she gonna call him a nut job?
Give a trigger warning here for mention of suicide and suicidal rage after the car.
We don't know the terms of the car being purchased. Something seems fishy. I mean, maybe she lied about it.
Was back in my position on the 29th of July. Oz and I received a message from Wonder, which will be available through the drive. What I specifically would like to highlight is that he insinuates that he had attention to and was taking in a message directly with me, he explicitly told me that, quote, I was legit trying to get my dad's their cabinet to injure myself. Either way, out of concern.
Bruh. Oh my god. Bruh. Bruh.
Situation
Bruh.
the messages to them, and I gave the 911 operator the last known place of his residence,
Bruh.
which was his dad's house, to perform a wellness check. The operator then told me not to arrange anything unless the police force is present. In his messages, Wonder states that he received a call from his therapist, which ultimately pulled him out of his intended plan. And let's take a moment to discuss the therapist. During his time in Colorado, he expressed to help him with.
Hold on. I gotta go back just for a second.
I then read the messages to them, and I gave the 911 operator the last known place of his residence in Texas, which was his dad's house, to perform a wellness check. The operator then told me not to arrange anything unless the police force is present. In his messages, Wonder states that he received a call from his therapist, which ultimately pulled him out of his intended plan. Let's take a moment to discuss the therapist. During his time in Colorado, he expressed that he wanted to seek therapy, and I think that's a fantastic decision. To help him with this process, I messaged my old therapist, who I did a lot of EMDR therapy with, and helped me immensely. Looking back, I probably shouldn't have recommended a therapist who was so life-changing for me to somebody else. Therapy is a continual journey. You can come in and out as needed, and unfortunately, after I recommended Wonder to this therapist, there began a conflict of interest, and I could no longer in good conscience see her for her services. When Wonder arrived in Colorado, he arrived with barely any clothing, no food for his dog. As Wonder mentions on Twitter, that short amount of time we lived together was absolutely a nightmare. The tension began with our dogs and his unwillingness to help ease the situation between our pets. I did everything I thought of at the time to introduce James and Casper in a way that facilitated a good relationship between the dogs. They met on neutral ground at a dog park and only had supervised play in the house. Wonder did not want to facilitate the dog play, so this really only happened under mine and Oz's supervision. And when both myself and Oz would leave the house and Wonder would stay home, he has multiple times locked Casper away in an empty room while James got free roam over the entire house. I don't want to claim that I'm any sort of dog specialist, but I do know that James was the new dog in this house that Casper had already been living in. And dogs are territorial by nature, that this was Casper's house and now suddenly he was being locked away. Additionally, James had multiple accidents in the home and Wonder would not clean them. It was Oz who ended up taking on that responsibility. During Wonder's stay in Colorado, his actions and inactions regarding the care of his dog James were a main cause of tension in the house. Not only did it seem like James was receiving inadequate care due to the lack of identification of the collar, lack of food, lack of toys, and more, but Wonder was unwilling to do his part as a pet owner to keep the peace between the dogs too. Wonder's lack of responsibility led to multiple incidents in addition to what I previously mentioned. Firstly, James bit Casper and bit his ear so hard that Casper bled. At this point, I took Casper to live with my sister as I no longer felt comfortable having Casper alone in the house with Wonder and James. I reached out to my good friend who's also a dog trainer to see if he could help me with the situation. The second incident occurred on June 24th, 2021. On the night of the 23rd, Oz and Wonder went out together. I was exhausted, and so before they both left, I let them know that I was going to bed, which is exactly what I did. I was woken up at 2:30 in the morning by Oz because Wonder was panicking because James was gone. Wonder admitted that he took James outside to go potty, then having forgotten he had done so, he left James outside while Wonder left the house with Oz. If I was aware that James was outside unsupervised, I would have done everything to ensure his safety. There was unfortunately nothing I could do as I was already downstairs in my room sleeping by the time this was all unfolding. When I was woken up by Oz, I got on the Nextdoor app and I immediately made a post to try and locate James. Got a response around 10 a.m. the next day with a call from someone who had thankfully located James. The only evidence I have of this series of events is photos of James.
This is just such a, like, who cares about the dog, bro?
While everyone was moving in. To further exemplify this, the photo he shows is a photo of a room that wasn't lived in by anyone in the house, and it was being used as a temporary storage and unpacking site while everyone was moving in.
That I was curious about. Her fucked up room that was like, it looked like a hoarder lived there, so I guess she's saying if people were just moving in at the time and that wasn't a temporary living thing. Or that was a temporary living thing, rather.
Been with me through a lot of really intense and personal situations in my life. You were there throughout the entire process of my mom's cancer diagnosis, her various treatments and hospitalizations, and I know there were many times when I had to run out the door suddenly because there was a crash cart in her room and I didn't know if she was going to make it, and you said you'd stay in the house and watch Casper so I could go to my mom. You were there for Casper's various hospitalizations when he would get sick throughout the years, and you helped me through a very difficult surgery recovery. I just want to say thank you for always being my support through all of my ups and downs. I know that a lot of these personal situations in my life left me very thin and sometimes irritable, and I want to say thank you for supporting me through it and helping me through some really hard times. Your support discussed before. I always hoped that we'd be able to reconnect again in the future and end our friendship. I meant that when I said it to you. I believed you when you said it back. Even after everything that's happened, you were the one person that I always thought could just get it back over left. And unfortunately, I think that ship has sailed. I miss the friend you were to me, but I think this makes it clear that we finally need to apologize.
Man, I hope I never have to do this. This sucks. I don't want to cry on a YouTube video. I think I'd rather film myself filming with my out than cry on a YouTube video.
So, to finish out this very difficult video for me, I want to once again just say, I take accountability for my actions. There are absolutely some stupid and dumb things that I did, and sometimes I do react a bit impulsively, and that does tend to backfire on me. I am disappointed in my behavior, and I hope that I can learn from all of this. I want to own up to my faults and take responsibility for my actions. Furthermore, I want to take responsibility for my own involvement with a crowd I am happy to no longer associate with. I did make bad decisions, I made bad friends, and there will forever be a bad taste in my mouth regarding some of the individuals I've spoken about today. But finally, I want to apologize to my audience. I owe you better than this, and you deserve more from me. I let you down, and I'm sorry. I hope that in time you can see that I mean everything that I've said here today, and I'm so excited to be able to prove you right.
Okay, so overall thoughts on the video, to wrap things up. Kind of dumb, not as bad as some people front-loaded it to be and donos to me, but also not amazing. Like, I disagree with a lot of what she said. Then again, a bunch of it's also interpersonal drama as far as, like, what Oz Media said, what I'm Wonder said, what the Click said. So from that perspective, like, there's only so much I can really say realistically before it just becomes a he said, she said situation where I have honestly nothing to add. This guy says one thing, Illuminati, Blair says another thing. Which one am I supposed to believe, you know what I mean? I don't know. So I guess all I can really do is watch the trash fire and enjoy it and pray that I never have to be in one of these situations where I'm loaning out people BMWs and crying in YouTube videos and writing Twitter threads about my former friends and being mad at them for saying the R slur on Discord. Who cares? I wonder what happens if I look up Illuminati and see what people are saying. I guess these are some pictures of her house as well, and every room looks fucked up, so I don't know what's up there.
Maybe your pussy's tight as fuck, just kidding.
Someone said blown out. It's possible. The Illuminati apology, don't fall for her lies of manipulation. I don't know. Am I holding back too much, chat? Am I being a pussy? Like, I just didn't. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it because I just don't know, and I don't know what I don't know. So am I being a pussy, chat? I just want to know more. I want to know more about what's going on. I don't want to make an assertion without knowing because I don't know any of these people. I could never be friends with any of these people because if I had to have one Discord call with them, I'd probably find them so insufferable. We never want to have a conversation again, and they'd probably feel the same thing regarding me. So I don't know. She spins everything so that she looks better. I mean, I guess, but I just don't know what the spin is. So, and I wish I knew that. I mean, everyone from their perspective is usually like spinning it to look better. You know what I mean? Your breathing is ASMR. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, that's my take on the Illuminati stuff. Ultimately, nothing else I can really say about it. Hopefully, everyone is happy in the end, but obviously it's not done yet because the Click is going to respond, Wonder is going to respond, maybe Oz Media is going to respond as well. This person's channel again.
Yeah, that's why we get along. We have so much in common. Just dragging her down with you, huh, bud? Kamikaze by words.
I hate Reddit YouTubers. That being said, I'm starting a green tech channel soon to farm money. I'm not gonna front about it. Hey guys, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna do a green tech channel because I don't care. I don't care. I want a Ferrari. Ask Blair to hire you for a car. You think Blair will let me lease the company Ferrari? Can I make the monthly, like, $3,000 a month payment on the Ferrari and it'll break down in a month? Yeah.
There was a time when the world felt freshly painted, when meadows blossomed in brush-stroked bloom, and the tulips wove a tapestry of pastel light and morning.
In the first place, like, he already had everything going for him. He was smart, he was successful, he literally could have just minded his own business and lived happily ever after. But I suppose that would have been dull. Now, even though all this stuff happened before Tate became a household name, his personality is still shown through in his kickboxing clips. Even then, you could tell just from watching him that he was the kind of person where nothing was ever really enough. And I think in many ways, that's kind of why people like him.
I see people climb Mount Everest or jump off buildings or do base jumping, or the guy who jumped from space. People think, what's he doing? He's crazy. I understand. Because some people can't live normal lives. Some people cannot just function 9-to-5 office job, get drunk at the weekends. That is not for some individuals, and it's not for me.
So you can see that even early on, Tate wasn't just displaying sportsmanship. He was kind of using it to represent his outlook on life. And at the time, that outlook was relatively harmless, so I completely understand why someone would be drawn to it. I think a lot of people feel the way that Tate felt in that clip. I mean, I know I do. For me, it more so manifests through my creative endeavors, like this video you're watching right now. And for Andrew Tate, it manifested through kickboxing. Or at least, it did.
I'm constantly looking for never-ending entertainment, and it doesn't exist. I think the only thing that could stop me fighting is if I had enough money to constantly entertain myself.
And wouldn't you know it, that's exactly what wound up happening. By 2016, Tate had all but stopped kickboxing, and he was ready to try his hand at the wonderful world of reality television. And oh my gosh, it was awful.
I'm Andrew Tate, I'm 29 years old, and I'm a 4 times kickboxing world champion.
So Andrew Tate stepped onto the small screen by appearing on season 17 of the wacky British reality TV show, Big Brother. And, you know, he seemed like an okay guy.
I'm not that guy. I don't want to run around personally causing genuine distress to anyone.
Except for the part where his sole reason for being on the show was to cause distress to basically everyone.
I know I have the ability to destroy anyone in that house if I chose to.
Now, not all of this is Andrew's fault. The way the show was set up, there were 2 houses, and Andrew was part of, like, the bad guy house, I guess? I don't know. Honestly, I watched all 7 episodes that Andrew was in, and I still have literally no idea what Big Brother is even really about. Anyway, he was supposed to be back. That's the point.
Everyone who is friends now will not be friends 10 minutes after I arrive.
So I don't really blame him for that, since he was kind of just doing his job. But what really stood out to me was the fact that he genuinely seemed to think that everybody on the show is stupid, except for him.
Attention-seeking morons, jumping all over the place, trying their very, very best to be cool or funny.
At first I was like, nah, this gotta be a bit, right? Like, there's no way my guy thinks he's the main character of a show with like 16 people on it. But he did.
They're on TV and running around acting like fools, and I'm trying to actually complete a task.
Everyone's a moron or a fool, but not Andrew. Andrew Tate is a soldier.
You have one soldier here capable of doing anything. And that is me.
And, you know, I love a good ego trip myself, but maybe not when it's at the expense of literally everyone else. But yeah, the more they let this man talk, the more I was like, okay.
Nothing's difficult for me. I see myself as smarter than average.
You know, thinking back about anyone I've ever met who's described themselves as being smarter than other people, they all have this really funny thing in common where, like, they're not.
So I know I'm the most intelligent person in this house, and I'm the most capable person in this house. Fact.
The man just could not shut his mouth about how intelligent he was.
I'm intelligent enough to understand that if you want to learn something, you have to shut your mouth.
So yeah, needless to say, people didn't really like this guy, and I guess Channel 5 didn't either, because he wasn't on the show for very long. See, Tate was already coming under fire from viewers, not just because he was a jerk on the show, but because he was a jerk on Twitter as well. Certain tweets resurfaced that he had made prior to the show, all of which are so stupid that I'll lose brain cells if I think about them for another nanosecond. Lately, whenever I can help it, I've been trying not to perceive Twitter as a concept for more than 5 minutes at a time, and honestly, it's been helping a lot. Anyway, Tate was now receiving mainstream media coverage due to these tweets, which was obviously not a good look for the network, but Channel 5 didn't really do anything about it since he didn't make those tweets while he was actually on the show. But then, just a few episodes into the season, he got dropped anyway.
I'm Andrew, and I just want you all to know that I'm no longer in the Big Brother house, I'm afraid.
So, if not the tweets, Andrew claims that he got booted from the show because he was simply too good at it. According to Tate, if he'd gone through with his master plan, then it would have just been so chaotic and so dramatic that it wound up just being easier to remove him from the show entirely.
I had an amazing master plan, and the producers of the show were worried that if I did such an amazing plan and got caught, that it was going to kick off in a big way.
Now, if you're thinking, wow, that makes absolutely no sense, but okay, don't worry, so was I. And so was Channel 5, apparently. They promptly issued a statement debunking Andrew's claims, instead reiterating that it wasn't due to the tweets, but that it was because of, quote, information which came to light. Tate then went on to imply that the real reason he was banned was a resurfaced video from 2012 showing him and a partner engaging in BDSM. But this also makes no sense because people were honestly doing freakier things than that on Big Brother itself. The show's low-key crazy. So dropping him over that would just be silly. exactly. Besides, Channel 5 never actually confirmed the reason, so it's safe to assume that if he lied the first time, then he lied the second time too. So what was this cryptic information that came to light? Why was Andrew Tate actually ousted from Big Brother? Well, the real reason has a lot to do with why he's currently under house arrest right now, but that wasn't going to come up for years, so we're not there yet. See, Andrew Tate was getting up to some pretty shady stuff behind the scenes. So Tate was good at kickboxing, and it...
Dion, hand it over. Now, how does that make you feel?
Like a part of me is missing.
It paid the bills, but it didn't really give him the big bucks he was looking for. Similarly, his reality TV show was basically over before it started, so that didn't really do much for his bottom line either. But thankfully for him, and no one else, he had a very great and normal idea. Running an online webcam model business.
I found this little webcam thing, and I was like, this might be some money. So I text all my girlfriends, I think it's 5, text all 5, said, you're all coming here to live with me and work with me. None of them knew about each other.
Remember that one tenant where he was like, I prefer consensual relationships with virtuous women? Well, I guess women is plural now that I think about it. It's interesting that the women in this scenario have to be virtuous, but he gets to be so not virtuous that he's stringing along multiple people into thinking they're in a monogamous relationship with him, but they're not. Very interesting.
I'm retired from fighting, I have no money, I'm running out of money. So I put them all around the same table, and I was like, look, we're going to start a webcam business. You're going to stay here. You're going to live in London. I'm going to look after you, and we're going to get rich.
So Andrew puts his get-rich-quick scheme into action, and because we live in the simulation and nothing is real, it actually works.
Long story short, 3 left, 2 stayed. Those are my first 2 girls, and we started this little webcam business from my apartment, and it just grew and grew and grew, and it got to the point where at one point I had 75 women working for me in 4 locations.
Imagine 3 people breaking up with you at the same time. Anyways, at this point, you may be asking yourself, how exactly did this webcam business work? Or you may not be asking yourself that. I definitely didn't ask, but Andrew could not wait to share it with us regardless.
So it's a very simple, it's a diagram. Let me draw you a diagram. It results in me being a G. Let me draw something for you.
I have to say, the way in which he explains this business model is so juvenile and ridiculous that I actually find it fascinating.
So basically, this is me at the top. Hey.
I don't know how to explain this rationally, but for some reason, I find the sound of him writing on the paper to be so funny, unironically.
Below me are chicks.
So, we've got Andrew, we've got the women he's employing, there's only one ingredient left.
And below the chicks are men that coincidentally look a lot like you guys.
I'm sure they do. So at the...
The fact that you thought that you had to ask that question based on the common sense conversation that we were having says everything about you.
Is the Fantastic Four really prominent enough to be rebooted 3 times in the last 20 years?
Huge? They used to be, but not anymore. They used to be called Marvel's First Family. But, meaning, you know, they're the most important Marvel characters, but not anymore. Not since the X-Men took
You
over
can't
in
call
the
them
90s.
X-Men anymore, that's sexist.
What?
X them.
Well, that is the name of the team, not
I know, but
referring to
they
a
don't want to
person.
use the word X-Men anymore for future Marvel movies.
Well,
They said
X-People are persons.
like Disney, there's been
Okay.
rumors saying that Disney's gonna change it from like X-Force or like X-People.
Disney's coming
It's
for our
X-Men.
souls.
Alright?
Oh, I agree, 100%. It's X-Men. And they're like, oh my god, I'm just mad. What's
gotta
this
be-
female?
You gotta be kidding me. Is that a real thing?
I'm like,
Well, I
I'm
mean-
pretty sure I've heard it.
It's humans. Human. Human.
And don't be smart with that. Don't forget that people are learning that history is sexist. It's herstory also.
No, hold on. Okay, X-Men, I've not heard this before. The X-Men finally addressed the thing around changing their name. Should the X-Men change their name to something more gender neutral?
See? I told
Comics
you it was
finally
real.
weighs in. What? Okay. So it looks like they may have addressed it in the comics here.
I really don't even want to have the conversation about it.
We're killing Travis.
Stupid.
I agree with Travis.
Okay. Adam, what would you like to talk about today?
Well, this is not what we were. Yeah, Fantastic Four. Let's just continue on, because like, fuck these people who think they can just change IPs for their ideology. Like, honestly, we need to just say fuck you, make whatever product you want. We're not going to support you, and make our own shit. Because guess what? Someone had to create the X-Men originally, so maybe this is just going to allow more people to create new stuff, like ISOM. You know, like. Shit's happening where people are like, you know, fuck the comic book industry, I'm gonna make my own shit, and it's gonna be better than all this shit that's coming out now, and actually give something that readers actually enjoy. Why do you think manga is absolutely destroying American comic books right now? Because they're obsessed with putting their own ideology into the story instead of caring about the story itself. They don't give a shit about that. They want to teach you how to be a better person. Like, no, fuck you. You're not my parents. My dad did a fantastic job of showing me what it's like to be a man. Like, I don't need you to teach me how to fucking wear makeup and wear a dress to be more masculine. That's literally a thing, by the way.
The funniest part about this whole thing is X-Men refers to humans. They are X-Men because they are mutated humans. Humans. Okay? So if they're fans, they would know that. So,
introducing Astapro, steroid-free allergy relief that starts working in 30 minutes.
This is Wings of Redemption, and this is Boogie 2988. And if you know either one of these individuals, I don't have to convince you to watch this documentary. I know you're watching every second. But if you don't know them, let me explain to you why a simple tweet that I put out suggesting that we were in talks to have these two box each other went absolutely viral, getting 5 million views.
Why the fuck is this happening? Because it's a circus event. I mean, I'll be honest, I'll probably watch it. I am very curious to see how this unfolds. These are two lol cows. You have to keep that in mind. And they know that. They're self-aware. But winning this fight is a huge step in a direction away from a lol cow.
Hey guys, it's me, Francis, and a user by the name of COD Nuclear 360 420 asked me today if I would show off my Nerf collection. And right, and gonna be okay. Go fuck yourself.
Boogie started his career on YouTube making Francis videos, a character he played that would rage, smash the Christmas tree, smash an Xbox or something. He even had this one video where he acted like he was hacked in World of Warcraft. It went absolutely viral, getting a shout out from Ray William Johnson at the time. However, as he was making these Francis videos, he was getting insecure because the comments were all thinking that's who he really was.
Hey guys, it's me, Francis. I know I look weird right now. It's because I got my camera about set up here.
So Boogie started making different videos, covering all different topics on the internet, showing the audience that he wasn't actually the Francis person.
A lot of you say that I inspire you, and I think that's amazing. But there's somebody out there who inspires me, and his name is Diamond Dallas Page.
Unfortunately, by oversharing who he really was, it opened him up to even more bullying online.
Validated so much of the pain that has been inside of me.
For example, many of these bullies would constantly make up rumors that his wife at the time was cheating on him. And then when he publicly announced that they were getting a divorce, that was the fuel that the bullies need to go in full force.
It was pretty great to tell them that because we shared all of the really good parts of our life. But just like anywhere else or anyone else on social media, I did not show the bad times. And our marriage was far from perfect.
Over the last decade, the bullying got so extreme and so insane that one of these bullies showed up at Boogie's house to harass him in real life. Boogie came out with a firearm and shot a warning shot.
Fire the warning shot now.
To scare the bully away, but instead, Boogie got arrested for shooting the gun in city limits.
For those of you wondering why I haven't been on social media, it is because I was in fact charged because of that incident that happened last September when a stalker came to my house.
Even with all this, Boogie's done pretty good financially on the YouTube platform. But after a divorce and after losing a lot of money in crypto, currently Boogie's on the verge of losing his home.
But I put my money in the crypto market in the wrong section, and I pretty much lost most of it. That sucks. That really sucks. It is what it is, though. I mean, like, I've come to terms with it. But I need to get back to it. I have some savings, but they're going quickly. And if I don't start live streaming and making content and getting ad revenue and stuff again, then I'm going to lose everything. And I definitely do not want to do that.
And we had A and B, and they were trapped at C. And I got back there with a Winchester 1200, and the guy would just keep spawning there. I ended up killing him 27 times because somebody kept popping up there.
Wings of Redemption was one of the first Call of Duty YouTubers, and at the time, everybody had horrible quality videos using a capture device known as a Dazzle. Wings had a huge advantage over his competitors because he had a Hauppauge HD, and his video quality was much better. He would upload videos to YouTube with his Call of Duty gameplays and then tell life stories over them.
Oh man, I'm back and I'm here to save you from some dull commentary. It's your boy Wings of Redemption.
Wings became so successful that he became a machinima director, which was a big deal back in the day.
I think people think I have this anger issue. I don't have anger issues.
He was so successful that he started a podcast known as PKA with FPS Kyle and Woody's Gamertag. From the podcast, Wings was known for his crazy takes.
Because I like the guy to have a pretty penis too.
Not again! Wings of Redemption! His career was only going up. But then, he had a 1v1 Call of Duty match versus a Zombies player known as Tom Syndicate. Now, Tom Syndicate played zombies, right? He didn't even play against real people. And Wings of Redemption was known as a Call of Duty god. So this was going to be an easy win for Wings.
I'm just glad they're playing. Because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that would not play. There's just like,
yeah, I probably would be on painkiller already again. I broke my controller.
Controller?
After the devastating loss against Tom Syndicate in the 1v1 Call of Duty,
Why the fuck you stream that shit?
Wings of Redemption's career started going into a major decline. He was no longer known as a good Call of Duty player, but even though his career was on the decline, he still had a wildly successful podcast on PKA. Until Woody's Gamertag and FPS Kyle and Wings decided to do a PKA camping trip. They were supposed to all meet in the woods and try to survive on absolutely nothing for like 48 hours. Woody's Gamertag showed up, FPS Kyle showed up, Wings did not show up. Woody and Kyle were so upset that Wings didn't show up that they kicked him off his own podcast.
He doesn't fucking come. He just doesn't fucking come. And it's now it's just me and Woody in the woods.
After this, his videos stopped getting less views and he didn't even have his podcast anymore. So in order to make ends meet, he had to stream video games to make money.
Look here. Look, listen.
Then the audience got to see the real Wings of Redemption.
I've wanted it so fucking bad. I just can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
Raging and freaking out because he lost in a video game.
I'm done with this shit, man. I'm so done with this shit. I hate Call of Duty so fucking bad.
Wings has been stuck in the last decade of a horrible loop of bullying and harassment.
Kayak compares both rental cars and car sharing sites to find you a rental car. Download the Kayak app now.
Harassment. Wings and Boogie have a lot in common. First of all, they're both fat, weighing in at like 400 pounds each. Both Both of them had weight loss surgery, you know, like a rubber band on their stomach so they couldn't eat as much. They both lost a bunch of weight and then gained it all back. Both Wings and Boogie were some of the first creators on the platform. Wings starting in 2008, Boogie starting in 2006. They both had a thriving career, and now their careers in the pits. Okay, so listen, all right? Misfit Boxing is KSI's company. It's huge, it's massive, like 8 or 10 events a year, millions and millions of fans. And as you know, I have been setting up boxing matches behind the scenes for years, right here on this show on Traveler. And currently, a bunch of my fighters over at Happy Punch fight on Misfits. I have a good relationship with them. So Mams Taylor over at Misfit Boxing asks Happy Punch, myself, to set up the prelims for the next KSI pay-per-view event. If you don't know what prelims are, they're like the fights that you get to watch for free before the pay-per-view starts. I say yes, but I want complete creative control. And they tell me you can set up any 4 fights you want. Anyone. This is my moment. I have to break the internet. I have to set up a fight that you can't even refuse not to watch. So of course, I go for Boogie and Wings because this is so impossible. Like, this fight can never happen. There's like so many obstacles. First of all, Boogie is a giant pussy. No, he is. He's never been in a fight in his life. He's constantly apologizing. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Like, what? The idea of him fighting someone physically? No way. It's not happening. Wings to Redemption doesn't leave his mobile home. He lives in a trailer and he is not leaving it, all right? He was supposed to go to PKA on that camping trip. Did he show up? No. On top of that, in order to do a boxing match, you got to get approved by a doctor. You got to get your medicals done, all right? They need to make sure you're healthy enough to actually do a boxing match. These two soda-drinking, like, whales are probably the most unhealthy people on all of YouTube. And on top of that, these guys got bullies, trolls, people that harass them on a daily basis. And their haters have been trying to get them put on a do-not-fly list ever since this ever started. I'm not joking. But the biggest challenge for these two are the medicals. I needed to get these guys in shape. I started talking to them in February to make this thing happen, and I've been calling them every single day to make sure they're not drinking soda, to make sure that they're like doing some sort of cardio, that they're punching a bag. And they would tell me that they're losing weight. They would tell me that they're exercising, but I didn't believe them. I had to see it for myself.
Mike, are you rolling now?
Just hit it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about 2 minutes out from being the first YouTubers ever to go to Wings of Redemption's house. And let me tell you, I'm on the edge of my seat literally driving to this thing. I don't know if I'm pulling up to a mansion or a double wide. The rumor on the street is we're pulling up to a double wide, though.
Dude, I've never been more excited in my life. I've done a lot of things, but this might be my favorite day of all time. I'm super... I don't even know what to say.
The myth, the man, the
wings. The Wings of Redemption.
Redemption. Oh my god, we're getting so close.
Bro, this is like meeting Santa for me. It's like a mythical... This is the first YouTuber I ever watched for Call of Duty. This is my hero.
I've never seen you more excited than right now.
Bro, I'm a pretty excited guy, but this might be a top 3 for me. It's pretty nice.
The house next to it is way nicer.
Well, he said he was getting a new roof.
This one needs a new roof.
Yeah, that's what it needs one. That one is.
Are you sure this is it?
This is what it looked like when I pulled it up.
Okay. Open the door.
There's an exercise bike porch.
Well,
there is, and there's some neon lights back there.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, hold on, wait. He's gonna do some. Be cool, be cool. Be cool. I don't want him to know. Yeah, what's up, Wings? What's up, bro? Yeah, what's wrong?
can I get a photo like right off the bat?
They're gonna get a picture. He does want a bunch of face. I don't know why.
So Boogie's basically been saying that, you know, he's definitely going to win this, that you can't stand up more than 45 seconds. That's a lot. These are 2-minute rounds. Are you going to make it through these rounds easy as far as conditioning?
The first one, yeah. I figured, you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
I figured the first one is going to be, I'm going to be exhausted by the end of the first round, and then it's going to be a hug-a-thon.
Yeah. A lot of clenching.
Yeah, a lot of clenching, a lot of hugs. But honestly, I'm hoping to get it out before 30 seconds.
Oh, amazing. Oh, shit.
Pretty quick on the jab, too. That's a quick jab. Ooh, there's some power in these. Sorry. I would not want to be in these things. That's some power on those shots.
Oh, shit.
Bro, it's tough to throw shots for like. Comes a super hard one, alright? It's up. Touch the jaw, chin down. There it comes, alright?
Why are you doing this fight? Why did you agree to it?
The only honest answer?
Yeah.
The honest answer is savings. Like I want my savings is not where I want it to be, and I want more money to put into savings. Like I don't want to get into the strategy. Don't tell us your strategy. Just what? Round 1, round 2. It's going to be a knockout. It's either going to be a TKO or a knockout. It really depends. But most likely, I figure the ref's going to stop it. So I think I don't hit hard enough to put Boogie completely out. I hit hard enough to put him down. And like, you know, can Boogie get up? I mean, Boogie's 48 years old. You know, he's on disability a fifth of his life. You know, he's probably got some type of arthritis. Like, if I put him down once, can he get up in 10 seconds? I don't know.
For all you that said Wings of Redemption ain't gonna do it, it's getting done! There it is!
Now it's all up to Boogie 2988. Arkansas, here we come.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're now at the site of the pistol shot.
The scene of the crime.
The scene of the crime. We are talking about Mountain Dew drinking Boogie 2988. Oh my God, that's it!
Yeah, that's it.
That is it.
This is gonna be good.
Oh my fucking God. That's where Frank Castle harassed the fuck out of Boogie.
He pulled out a gun from like the 1800s.
Dude!
He was gonna rob a stagecoach with it.
Let's see where he shot. Oh my God, he shot at a neighborhood. Mike, look, he shot the gun that way in the air. He could have killed someone. That's good. We got that.
Hey, Wings. I finished my pizza. Now I'm ready for wings. Because this is two 400-pound men who have effectively, I'm sorry, Jordy, but we've effectively ruined our own lives. We've ruined our own bodies, right? We've ruined our own careers. And this is us fighting for our lives, fighting for our careers, fighting for our respect, fighting for ourselves. I mean, there's a bag involved, and that's great, but that's not why either of us is doing this. I hope not, okay? It really comes down to the fact that I think you're going to see two desperate men
who are desperate for relevance, desperate to get better, desperate to get healthy, desperate to be better people fighting it out in the ring. That's why I'm doing it. That's, you know, and if I have to go through Jordy to get to a better life, if I have to go through Jordy to get stronger, to get better, to get healthier, I'm going right through it. He's taking every ounce of character and strength I have to actually go through with this. My brain is constantly telling me this is dangerous, this is scary, back out, back out, back out. There's no backing out, right? I'm going through with it. When I go through with it, I hope I earn some degree of respect. But I think the respect that I'm really going to earn is mine. That's who needs to learn a little bit of respect. Right? Like, that's the thing that I've always been afraid of, man. I've been afraid of doing dangerous things. I've been afraid of doing crazy things. I sought comfort. And that comfort became my prison. Right? I've not been taking the risks that a human is supposed to take. And this is making up for that.
And if you die in that ring,
then what a way to go, man. Right? Like, we all want to die fighting. We all want to die a warrior. We all want to die fighting for our health, our life, our people we love, our self-respect. You gotta die of something. Would it be better to die in the ring or die in one of these fucking chairs sitting around this house playing video games? What's the better way to go? If I have to die, it'll be a part of YouTube's legacy to die in that ring.
moment of truth. Boogie's got the contract.
Legal shit. I don't even know what he even said. The Tom's excited. I get paid if I sign this. That's what I get. I get paid.
It's happening! May 13th, London. Boogie 2988 versus Wings of Redemption. It's happening, people.
Pizza and wings. Get 2 or more Papa Perry's favorites for just $6.99 each.
Dehydration slowing you down? Pedialyte. Hydrate, feel better fast. So look, I go to Wings in Boogie's house. They're both exercising. They both actually lost weight. And they both signed the contract. And I'm going to be honest. Look, I had fun at both of their houses. We've had some laughs. Roll it.
Wings, were you doing donuts with that chair? Like, what's that circle right there?
I used to have my setup over here.
Oh, okay.
And that's from just years of gaming.
So intense. I need to know what created that motion. Gentlemen, he's been doing donuts in this thing. How many chairs have you gone through? 2. 2? That's it? What's the brand, by the way?
This is a Serta. I Work Comfort. It's a 24-hour chair. Costs about $800.
Damn. It needs a sponsor. Yeah. Put a hole in the goddamn ground.
That was the old chair. I remember when I threw the old chair away, I went through, somebody said I've had relationships that didn't last as long and was as strong as that chair.
What is all this?
This is my haunted house stuff. You see this out every year, man. We got a Boogeyman number 1, we got Boogeyman number 2, we got Pumpkinhead, we got all the tombstones. Wait a minute.
Why is there a hole in your ceiling?
Oh, because my ex-wife fell through it. Yeah, she was up there doing attic stuff, you know? And
was she hiding up there with the guy she was fucking?
No, she was hiding up there with McJuggernuggets. You remember that? You know, she was like, can I get a little head?
He's doing it. Got a flat tire.
Flat tire on it.
Then it looks like you're pulling the kayak.
Dude, you tried it.
So, what are you doing? You're shadow boxing?
Huh? No, man. I'm hunting flies, buddy.
Why?
Because flies got wings, King.
It's a dead limb. We can do that.
Shit! That's gonna be Boogie's bone! What just happened? Boogie, what happens when you get hit for real?
What? I get hit for real in this thing.
Wow! Stop!
Bro, it's incredibly strong. I don't know if you guys know this. I weigh 220 pounds. This thing underneath me weighs over 350 pounds.
Oh, look at her balance, too. She's excited.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Lower, lower. Come on, we ain't breaking reps today. Here we go.
I can hear feel your reps.
But they're in there somewhere.
Are you sure?
110%.
I seen the video of Callie hitting with the pads, but she didn't have gloves on.
Yeah, it's impromptu. I seen Boogie's bullshit ass video, and he's all like, "I'm gonna knock you out in one punch," and I'm like, "No, you never been there to fight your life."
All right, let's see it. Let's see it.
How you like your wings? What do you mean? How you like your wings? I like them dead. How you like your wings? Get the bullshit. How you like your wings? I like them spicy. How you like your wings? Spicy. What? I like them spicy. Barbecue sauce. What? Look out! What are you doing?
Okay, so we still have a major obstacle in our way. Their medicals. They need to pass a medical exam. Turn this up.
What's up, Blue?
Did you pass your medicals?
Yeah, I passed.
Yes! Did Boogie reach out to you at all?
Yes.
I'm gonna call him right now. Good shit, Wings. Good shit, Wings. Did you pass your medicals?
I passed my medicals.
You passed?
Yes, I doctor approved. Doctor approved. We got it.
Oh my fucking god! It's happening! Wings passed his too! Wings passed his too! They passed!
That's great! They passed! I thought you wouldn't be able to do it.
Oh my god. Alright, I'm gonna call you back.
Okay, awesome.
All the taste, no bitter endings. Crisp and refreshing, diamond and silver.
The Happy Punch prelims will be streamed on Misfit Boxing YouTube channel absolutely free. The first fight is
Alrighty.
Suckles versus a mystery up.
That's going to be the stream for tonight. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll be back soon for some more videos. So yeah, you guys have a good one.